if you can go on to your website, your Home Affairs, there's a bulletin or a list of critical and scarce skills in the country, right? And this is worldwide. One of the biggest skill that is being sought after by the market is the skill of critical thinking.
Hello, hi. Welcome to the classroom. Please like, share, and definitely don't forget to subscribe to our channel.
Good day, grade 11s and 12s. Today, we're delving into the vital aspect of business studies, conflict management. Conflict arises when there's a misalignment of ideas, goals, or perspectives within an organization. While it might seem inherently negative, conflict can lead to innovation, learning, and improvement when managed correctly. Let's explore how we can navigate through this complex but essential area of business. Functional versus dysfunctional conflict. Conflict can be categorized into two types, functional and dysfunctional. Functional conflict is beneficial as it fosters creativity, problem-solving, and strengthens team dynamics. It involves open discussions where disagreement is about ideas rather than personalities. For conflict to be functional, there must be mutual respect, active listening, and a willingness to compromise. This type of conflict often results in better decision-making and can lead to compromises that benefit all parties involved. On the other hand, dysfunctional conflict is harmful. It leads to a decline in productivity, fosters misperceptions, and creates an environment of mistrust and poor communication. This type of conflict arises when individuals focus on personal attacks rather than the issue at hand, leading to stress, low morale, high staff turnover, and potentially even workplace violence. Imagine Zaba, a popular clothing retailer in South Africa, is facing declining sales. Management decides to implement a new strategy focused on online sales and reduced in-store inventory. This decision sparks conflict within the sales team at a specific store. Miscommunication. Management fails to clearly communicate the reasons behind the strategy change to the sales team. Sales associates feel their concerns about potential job losses and decreased customer service due to reduced in-store stock are ignored. Unwillingness to compromise. Some sales associates resist the change, clinging to traditional sales methods and fearing for their commissions. They refuse to adapt to the new online sales model and actively undermine its implementation. Negative behaviors. Gossip and rumors spread among the sales team, creating a toxic environment of mistrust and suspicion towards management. Experienced sales associates, feeling undervalued and threatened, begin to withhold information or sabotage online sales efforts. Negative outcomes. Sales continue to decline as the new strategy is not effectively implemented. Customer service suffers due to reduced in-store staff and a lack of product knowledge. Morale plummets, leading to increased absenteeism and staff turnover. The store's reputation is damaged, further impacting sales. Reasons for conflict. Many can trigger conflict in a workplace. These are just some of them. Ego. When personal pride overshadows organizational goals. Cultural differences. Diverse backgrounds can lead to misunderstandings if not managed well. Poor communication. Lack of clear, effective communication often results in role ambiguity, overload, or conflict. Change. Resistance to changes in processes or management styles can spark conflict. Limited resources. Competition for scarce resources can create tension. Competition. Healthy competition can turn toxic if not directed properly. Unresolved past issues. Lingering problems from the past can resurface, escalating current conflicts. Managing conflict in the business. Effective conflict management requires managers to assess and understand the situation to identify the root cause of the conflict, Intervene when necessary, ensuring the focus remains on the issue, not the individuals involved. Encourage open communication to clarify misunderstandings and promote transparency. Foster a culture of respect where diversity is seen as a strength rather than a source of conflict. Different ways to manage conflict. Here are several approaches to managing conflict. Accommodating. Sacrificing one's own needs for the sake of others, often to maintain harmony. Avoiding. Choosing to sidestep the conflict, either temporarily or permanently, when the issue is minor or when emotions are too high. Collaborating or cooperating, working towards a solution where both parties feel satisfied, often leading to innovative outcomes. Competing, standing firm on one's position, especially when legal or ethical standards are at stake. Compromising, finding a middle ground where each party gives up something to reach an agreement. Other strategies may be implemented, such as active listening. This involves giving each person the opportunity to speak without interruption, asking clarifying questions, and reflecting back what you've heard to confirm understanding. This can de-escalate tensions and clarify misunderstandings. Setting ground rules. Establish rules for engagement in discussions like no interruptions, mutual respect, and confidentiality. This can make the environment safer for open discussions. Timeouts. If emotions are running too high, agree to take a break from the discussion. This allows time for cooling off, which can lead to more rational and productive discussions. Cultural sensitivity. In diverse workplaces, understanding and respecting cultural differences can prevent many conflicts. Training on cultural competence can be beneficial. Implementing these strategies and many others that can be found on the internet, books, and the sports field can transform workplace conflicts from destructive forces into opportunities for growth and collaboration. Each situation might require a tailored approach, but the underlying principles of respect, understanding, and a focus on resolution remain constant. Third party. Interventions for resolving conflict. When internal efforts fail, bringing in a third party can be beneficial. Mediation. A neutral person helps the conflicting parties to negotiate a solution. Arbitration. An arbitrator listens to both sides and makes a binding decision. Training. Conflict resolution workshops or team-building exercises can prevent future conflicts by enhancing communication skills and cultural awareness. What's a workplace forum? Imagine a group in your workplace where employees and employers get together to talk about work stuff. Not about salaries or wages, but how the job gets done, how safe it is, and how to make things better. That's a workplace forum. It's like a mini council at work, where employees get a say in things that matter but aren't usually about money. How do you start one? Work size. It only works if there are 100 or more people at your workplace. Getting started. If there are unions or even just a bunch of employees, they can ask to start this forum. Elections. Everyone votes for who they want to represent them. If there's no agreement on how to do this, the CCMA may step in to help, but they must also be applied for and approved by the CCMA. Rules. You need a set of rules, kind of like a club's constitution on how everything will work, like when you meet and how decisions are made. What does this forum do? Talk and decide together. They discuss big changes at work like new ways of doing things or safety measures. On some topics, like how bonuses are decided, they have a say alongside the boss. Make work better. They work to make everyone's job better, more efficient, safer, and they will decide on training and development that may be needed in the workplace. Keep everyone informed. The boss has to share info so the forum can do its job right. Check policies. They can look at and suggest changes to work rules or how people are judged at work. Keep in mind that these forums are not outside of the business but strictly within. How does it help solve fights at work? Stop problems before they start. By talking regularly, they can catch issues before they turn into big arguments. A place to talk it out. It's like having a neutral zone where everyone can voice concerns without it turning into a big fight. Help solve disputes. They can act like peacemakers, helping everyone understand each other, or if it's really tough, suggest bringing in someone professional to mediate. Influence the rules. By helping make rules, they can make sure they work for everyone, reducing fights over things like how fair the workplace is. Educate and inform. They help everyone know their rights and what's going on, so fewer fights happen because of confusion or misinformation. Feedback. They make sure the boss hears what employees think, which can solve problems before they get too big. What are employer organizations? Think of employer organizations as clubs for bosses or business owners. They're groups where companies join forces to look after their common interests, share knowledge, and have a stronger voice when talking about business laws, policies, or issues. How? They get started. Joining together. Businesses decide to team up, usually because they operate in the same industry or face similar challenges. Membership. Companies pay to be members, kind of like joining a gym or a club, but for business benefits. Structure. They have leaders, rules, and sometimes even their own office or staff to manage everything. What do these organizations do? Lobbying. They speak to the government or other big players about what businesses need or want, like changes in laws or tax policies. Advice and support. They give advice to their members on how to handle business challenges, including legal stuff, worker rights, or how to grow your business. Training. They organize workshops or training sessions to help business owners or managers learn new skills or keep up with changes in their industry. Negotiations. They help in collective bargaining with unions, making sure that agreements on things like wages or working conditions are fair but also good for business. Networking. It's a chance for business owners to meet, share ideas, and maybe even find new business opportunities. How they help solve workplace conflicts. Unified voice. When there's a conflict, like a big disagreement over labor laws or rights, employer organizations can speak for many companies at once, making their case stronger. Education. By educating members on rights, laws, and good management practices, they reduce misunderstandings that could lead to conflicts. Guidance on disputes. They can guide their members on how to handle disputes, offering legal advice or mediation services to keep things from going to court. Best practices. They share what works in managing conflicts or improving workplace conditions, which can help prevent issues from blowing up into bigger problems. Negotiation support. In times of labor disputes, these organizations can help negotiate terms that are fair for both workers and employers, reducing tension. Some prominent employer organizations in South Africa include National Employers Association of South Africa, NEASA. This is a major player in the South African labor relations landscape, providing a wide range of services to employers, including legal advice, representation in labor disputes, and advocacy on labor policy issues. The National Clothing Retail Federation of South Africa, NCRF, represents clothing stores that millions of people visit to buy clothes, shoes, and fashion accessories. These stores generate over 50 billion rand in sales each year, which benefits the economy by paying suppliers, providing jobs for over 80,000 people, and contributing to taxes that fund essential services like housing, healthcare, and education. The Fuel Retailers Association of Southern Africa, FRA, is an organization that represents service station owners in South Africa. They work to ensure that fuel retailers can run their businesses successfully. The FRA helps to protect the interests of its members by engaging with other companies and organizations in the fuel industry. They also aim to create a fair and sustainable environment for all fuel retailers to operate in. The Consumer Goods Council of South Africa, CGCSA, is an industry association representing over 9,000 member companies in the consumer goods, retail, and services sectors, which is one of the largest employers in South Africa. At the core of CGCSA's purpose is our vision to become the leading consumer goods industry platform for advocacy, collaboration, and best practice in South Africa and across Africa. Trade unions. Trade unions are like clubs for workers where they join forces to protect their rights at work. They are established under the Labor Relations Act. They're all about making sure employees get fair treatment, good pay, and safe working conditions. How they form. Joining. Workers or employees in similar jobs or industries decide to come together. They might already have a union or form a new one. Membership. People sign up, often paying small fees for membership. Leadership. They elect leaders who negotiate on their behalf. What do they do? Bargaining. They talk with bosses, employers, to negotiate things like wages, hours, and benefits. This is called collective bargaining. Protect rights. They fight for workers' rights, like safe workplaces, fair treatment, and job security. Support. They help members with issues at work, like unfair dismissals or discrimination. Education. They educate workers on their rights and how to stand up for themselves. Strikes. As a last resort, they might organize strikes to push for changes. How they help solve conflicts. Collective voice. When one worker has a problem, the union can speak for many, making their concerns louder and harder to ignore. Negotiation. They negotiate agreements that prevent or resolve conflicts, like better working conditions or wages. Representation. In disputes, they represent workers, giving them legal or procedural support. Prevention. By setting clear standards and agreements, they help avoid conflicts by establishing what's fair from the start. The Commission for Conciliation, Mediation, and Arbitration, CCMA. The CCMA is like a referee for workplace disputes in South Africa. It's a government body that helps solve disagreements between workers and bosses without going to court. How it works. Referral. If there's a dispute, either side can ask the CCMA to step in. Conciliation. They first try to get both sides to agree through talks. This is like mediating a schoolyard argument. Mediation. If talking doesn't work, they move to mediation, where a neutral person helps find a solution everyone can live with. Arbitration. If all else fails, they can make a decision for both parties, kind of like a judge, but for work issues. What does the CCMA do? Resolve disputes. They handle conflicts over dismissals, pay, work conditions, or discrimination. Prevent strikes. By resolving issues, they help avoid strikes or lockouts, keeping work going. Education and advice. They offer training and advice to both workers and employers on how to manage conflicts. How the CCMA helps with workplace conflicts. Neutral ground. Provides a fair place for both sides to discuss issues, reducing the chance of bias. Speedy resolution. It's often quicker than court, which means conflicts don't drag on. Cost-effective. It's generally cheaper than legal battles, helping small businesses or workers without deep pockets. Binding decisions. If arbitration happens, the outcome is final, giving closure to disputes. Prevention. Through education, they help prevent conflicts by teaching how to handle workplace issues better. Management plays a crucial role in creating a positive and conflict-free work environment. This involves fostering open communication, promoting teamwork, and addressing issues promptly. Providing training on conflict resolution skills, communication, and diversity and inclusion is essential for equipping employees with the necessary tools to manage conflict effectively. Implementing clear policies and procedures for handling workplace conflicts ensures a fair and consistent approach. Promptly investigating and addressing complaints and grievances is crucial to prevent escalation and maintain a positive work environment. Finally, leading by example and demonstrating respectful communication and conflict resolution skills is essential for creating a culture of respect and collaboration. Thank you for watching. I hope that you learned something new. Please consider supporting the classroom by heading to our Zapper or SnapScan link below to donate a small amount of your choosing to help us create more content from more subjects. Please share the video with a friend and don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. It really helps us out.